Can you hear me?
I can. Can you
You
hear
can?
me?
Or you
Yep.
can't?
No, I can.
You can. Okay, that's good. Is the level high enough?
Yeah, you sound good.
Okay. So it happened twice with Adrian. That's why we don't do it on Jitsi anymore. We do it through Framatalk. And through Framatalk, we never had that issue. But on Jitsi, I had it twice.
Trauma talk?
Framatalk. It is in French. Fra, F-R-A, M-A, and talk. Framatalk. But we'll stay on StreamYard for tonight.
No, we're going to stay on here. Yeah, that's something I want to look at because that was very disappointing. I apologize for that.
Because I was there at 20 past 20, I mean my time, so 20 past 2 your time.
Yeah.
You were muted and your video was not available. And I was waiting and I sent you messages in the chat, I mean in the private chat of Jitsi, but you didn't answer. So, and then after 2:30, I went to YouTube, I refreshed the YouTube and I saw you were there. I could not change the mic device. If I changed my device, the permission was denied. If I took the permission out, I could change the device, but then I was not allowed.
I'm not sure, why it would be doing that.
Yes, I don't know why, and I had that same issue with Adrian a few weeks ago, and we decided to do everything on Framatalk now.
Okay.
But it's French. You have to know after a little while where is what, because it is in French, but it works better than Jitsi. Okay. It is a Jitsi sponsored by Framasoft, and probably they have done something to allow more ease of use for the user.
Makes sense. Okay.
Okay, no problem. We lost half an hour, but it's bad.
So I had another issue that I wanted to. You sent me that link for downloading the ISO file, and that mirror was giving me like 16 kilobits a second. So it would have taken me like 12 hours. I'm trying to find a local mirror, so I go to.
But because you have to find a recent ISO of Slackware current, Alien Bob does it almost each day. So that is good. I don't know if he has mirrors. He has mirrors in the Netherlands for sure because he lives there. Does he have it on Slackware UK? I don't know, but I don't know if that mirror is going to be better for you.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
So you don't have the ISO?
No, I apologize. I don't, because I've been trying to. I was going to do that while we were getting the intro together, because I went to. So if I go to Slackware, and I'll just show you my screen. So if I go to Slackware, and I go to
you see the Slackware ISO images that you will find there. I don't think you will get Slackware current. I think you will get Slackware 14.2. But you can try. But for me, I'm not sure.
Right. No, they are old. So, what does that mean? Why aren't they hosting current ISOs on the main website? That seems a little strange.
Because the current branch of Slackware is the rolling release, and so it's either for developers or for people who know how to handle Slackware. The ISO they give for the average user is the 14.2, which is rather old because it's from June 2016, and that is too old to use today. So we need to have a current one. Yes.
Let me see if I can find.
If you can find an ISO from another site, that would be great. But the two sites I know is a UK mirror or the Alien Bob's mirrors in the Netherlands. I don't know if you could find something, maybe in United States, if they have the ISO of Slackware current. You can try Slackware current ISO mirrors in your search engine. I'm not sure you will find something, but I will do it with you. So I sent you a link. Maybe you can try that one. I'm not sure it will be good for you, but that is, in principle, a Slackware current ISO.
Okay. Where did you send the link, Serge?
See, in the private chat of StreamYard. You need to open it on your side so that you can grab the link.
Oh, I see it. Okay.
Maybe you can have it from there. I'm not sure.
Let's take a look.
You need. I see. You have to take the 64 because there are two ISO. The second one is 64.
Take that one. Okay.
No. The second one, yes. The one with
right. Yes.
With 2.9 gigs.
Yes.
Hopefully, it won't take too long for you to download that ISO. I don't know. Because I don't know where is that mirror. What does it say? It says
25 minutes. Yeah.
IE, but I don't know where it is. HENET. I don't know where it is.
Okay. Yeah. This is the UK one. It's a mini though.
No, the mini not. You have to take the 2.9 or the 2.8 gigs always. Okay. Because the mini, because in Slackware you don't have the resolution of the dependencies through the package manager of Slackware. If you take the minimal, it will take a day or two to build.
Okay.
It's better to take everything. It's always better with Slackware to take everything and then to uninstall what you don't like, then to try to build up, because trying to build up, you have to find the dependencies and build the latest dependencies first and go up. It takes much more time, unless you are Patrick Volkending, because you know how it is built, or Alien Bob. They
Gotcha.
give it for developers because they know how to build Slackware.
Well, let's see how this one does. This is the UK one. I don't think it's going to be much better, but maybe.
Yes.
You know what? Let's just keep going with the one that's already partially downloaded.
Yes. How many either kilobytes or megabytes you have for your download?
Well, my download speed is
from
50.
The one you chose.
Well, my native speed is 50, but this is giving me 2.6.
2.6 what? Megabytes?
Kilobytes. Or, yeah, megabytes a second.
Oh, megabytes, okay.
Let me try the UK one and see if it picks up speed any better.
So this is why I suggested in one of my emails to do it yesterday or to do it this morning. Because I know that from the United States of America, it would take much longer to download that ISO.
I'll be honest and say that I completely just assumed that it was a US mirror that I could grab it in 15 minutes.
Alien Bob is in the Netherlands, and it's good that you can find also some ISO in the UK.
Okay.
Because he's doing a lot for Slackware, Alien Bob. He's doing the Slack Package Plus, he's doing Plasma. You can have Plasma and the latest Plasma with Dolphin as root on Slackware, thanks to Alien Bob. You have the Mate desktop, the latest Mate desktop, thanks to him. And all the big packages, he compiles them himself. LibreOffice, Firefox, Qt Web Engine, and so on. All the big packages, VLC, he compiles those packages and the latest versions of those packages himself, alone, without being paid. And all the lib32, all the libraries for the 32-bit. So when I hear a Canonical who can't do that with plenty of money and plenty of stuff, and he does that alone without being paid.
So do you want to give just a quick, while this is downloading, maybe a quick intro to Slackware, why it's so different, what's interesting about it, that kind of thing.
So its uniqueness. So it is the oldest that is still alive. It dates from 1993. That was the first release of Slackware, and it is still there, and it is a one-man distribution. It's Patrick Volkerding. He decided to follow the Unix philosophy. So everything, configuration files, plain text, no binary blob. He refused that. So he's not systemd. So it's sysv init. He decides to have something very simple. So simple scripts. In fact, the oldest package manager, he was the first one to create, before Red Hat, a package manager. It was install pkg, remove pkg, and upgrade pkg with obvious names. The only thing to update, you had to go in that time to change logs. Patrick would tell you which libraries or which packages had changed. People would download that to their systems, and then they would apply upgrade pkg with the name of the package they had downloaded. And they would upgrade their system like that. It took more time, but they did it like that. And Patrick decided he didn't want to go into the hell of the dependencies. So he said, if you want to install a package which is not in the core system, you have to do it by your own. You choose the method you want, and you decide in which order you are going to build that package. So he left it to each user how to install, because on Slackware you have the two possibilities. You can compile it from source, or you can get it from a binary from a trusted site.
And that's what you're saying this gentleman does, is he's...
Yes, Aidan Bob. Pause. We'll see when we will go to packages.org, which is a site for many distributions, but also for Slackware. You will see plenty of names of people who have created binaries for people who don't want to compile from source. So the main packages, you can find them on pkgs.org, and I will show today how to install, and it's very easy, how to install a binary package on Slackware from such a site. Okay. Then I will show you, because to use i3WM, we need to compile it. So we will first compile it with an excellent tool, and then once we are in i3WM, we will install several packages like VLC, like LibreOffice, like SMPlayer. I will show you how to install SMPlayer from pkgs.org, and LibreOffice and VLC from Alien Bob's site. The problem for you, if you have to download from Alien Bob's site, you might have the same problem, might have the same issue to download, but we can show how it works.
Okay. So in the meantime, let me share VM or VirtualBox, and let's go ahead and configure that.
In the configuration, what you have to enable, so you go in the settings for your, but you don't have the...
I'll just share the whole screen.
Yes, but I can tell you what you have to enable. You have to enable, there is a checkbox to enable EFI. You need to tick that checkbox in the settings of VirtualBox.
Okay. That's too big.
You have to enable PAE/NX, and you have to enable hardware virtualization, but normally, by default, hardware virtualization should be enabled. PAE/NX should be enabled, only EFI is not enabled by default.
Okay, for the Linux type, just other Linux 64?
Or the Linux 64-bit, so, or you can choose a Linux kernel 4.x. A 64-bit is also good. It doesn't matter.
Okay, so you mentioned EFI.
So you have to enable EFI. Mm-hmm. It is in the system. I will take my VirtualBox so I can help you to tell you where it is exactly. So in configuration, if you take system and you go into the motherboard, you have enable EFI, special OSIS. You have that?
Yes.
Okay. In the processor, you need to enable PAE/NX.
That's enabled.
That's enabled. And in acceleration, you need, oh, no, not there, sorry. It is virtualization. Virtualization, the two must be enabled. The hardware virtualizations, the two checkboxes have to be enabled. Normally, they are enabled by default. On my virtual box, which I have, they are enabled by default for any distribution.
Okay. All right. Well, I think I have those set. I gave it a couple more CPU cores.
So you have to give 4 cores because we will compile to get faster. We will compile some packages. You can give 4 gigabytes of RAM. It's more than enough, especially for i3WM. And with 20 gigs for disk space or 25 is more than enough.
Okay.
Gen 2 needs at least 30, even better 35. But Slackware with 20, 25, you have more than enough.
Okay. All right, so just got a few minutes left on the download, so we'll let that go. And
yes. Oh, if you wish, we can, but I don't know how many minutes left do you think you have for
download? About 8 minutes, 9 minutes.
8 minutes. Otherwise, we can speak about EFI in the meantime on YouTube, if necessary, because I can explain the pros and cons of the EFI. Versus the MBR, because I can explain why we do it in UEFI plus GPT instead of legacy.
Okay, yeah, that'd be fine.
Yes, that will, for the people in the chat, at least they can have some conversation while we wait for the ISO to download. I couldn't do anything in Jitsi. I tried everything I could, but couldn't.
All right, so Michael says, yeah, please go ahead. Okay. If you want to explain the EFI part, yeah.
Yes, I can explain it, no problem. So the level is, we will ask in the chat when YouTube starts if it is high enough, otherwise I can increase the volume.
Does Serge sound okay, everybody? Sounds okay to me.
Yes, I will refresh because. But can they hear me in YouTube? I'm not sure.
They should be able to.
Unless you have opened yet another stream, because on the one I see done, but I will see if you have done another one. You changed. Yes,
yeah,
okay.
your part. Okay.
You changed.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah. I mean, I just listened to it for a second and you sound fine to me.
Okay, can they hear me right in the chat?
Yeah, everybody said it sounds fine, but the typing's just a little bit loud, which is fine.
Typing, I didn't type anything, so.
Okay.
Okay, it's good.
Yeah, so go ahead.
So, for the people in the chat while we wait for the downloading of the Slackware current ISO, I will explain why we are doing this in UEFI plus GPT. So, what is EFI? EFI is the extensible firmware interface. It has to replace the legacy BIOS for x86 or x86_64 systems. And it was developed by Intel to be the next generation of the system firmware platform. There are, of course, some advantages, but also disadvantages. One of the big advantages is that you don't have to do some hacking to support large disks. I mean, disks over 2 terabytes. Plus, EFI is flexible. It's also designed as a module-based that you can adapt to various scenarios. For instance, you can have network booting. You can have a CLI shell for interactive use. It was designed in that way. And also, it has secure boot, of course. Secure boot allows to validate cryptographic signatures of OSIs, which is good. And it was designed to protect the system from malware at boot time. But it comes also with its own disadvantages. So which one? Motherboard vendors, for instance, well, they didn't follow the specifications. And then people had sometimes unreliable booting. Sometimes it booted, sometimes it didn't. And without any obvious reason. Then it was overly complex at times, at the beginning of EFI, and also the support was not really needed. There are many features which were not really needed in the firmware. And also, it was developed mainly for Windows, so it was not an OS agnostic decision. It was obviously done for Windows in mind. And also, there were many buggy EFI implementations, so that could break the system. And for secure boot, for instance, the manufacturer or the vendor can, for instance, not allow you to install another system, and even worse, they can lock you into the actual version of the system. Suppose you have Windows 7 on it, well, it would be impossible for you to upgrade to Windows 8, Windows 8.1, or Windows 10 on that same machine. You would have to buy a new hardware to be able to upgrade to a new version of Windows. So this is terrible. And also something else, for instance, if you use VirtualBox, sometimes with certain versions of secure boot, you are not allowed to use special kernel modules. They have to be signed. So this is why there are terrible disadvantages of EFI. So
was there
yes.
ever a good reason given? Like, was it mainly for security, or I know the expanded, I mean, the technical merit of having the larger disk support and things like that, but in terms of needing a signed kernel or something, is that something that they would do as a hardening method, or?
Yes. So they wanted several things. They wanted to go beyond all the limitations of the legacy BIOS, and also they had security in mind. It was good. The idea was good. The implementation was very bad, because what did the vendors? Some followed the UEFI 1 point something, others followed UEFI 2 point something, and some vendors didn't follow any standards. For instance, the big one is Apple. Apple doesn't follow any standard specifications. They do their own thing. And this is why the standardizations of UEFI is not followed. It's a little bit like the LSB standard. So what should be the standard package format? It used to be RPM, but the distribution didn't follow that, and we have several formats for the packages. Yes.
So, I mean, that's something that I've run into when, especially, you were right, when UEFI first came out, it was a nightmare for Linux in particular. It seems as though it's maybe gotten slightly better, but I agree that it seems like, so here's an interesting conversation that I had about Solus at one point, and I don't know if you're aware of how they handle their booting. So they're not using Grub, they're just using, UEFI boot specifically. So we're sort of in this hybrid world of where it is UEFI, but we're still using Grub on top of it, and apparently that's a weird mix, or what. I mean, I don't know if you know anything about that, like why we're sort of stuck in that in-between space, or...
Grub 2 covers two things. It covers, of course, all the people who are still in the legacy BIOS mode. This is one. And they cover also people who use UEFI, but also use Grub, because you're not obliged, it's a bootloader. You're not obliged to use that. You can use Refined, you can use syslinux, you can use other bootloaders. So, but people are accustomed to grub because they know how it works. And in general, grub 2 is reliable. So for the moment, this is used. Probably in the future, this might go away until they find something even better than refined. And then that will be good. I think in the future, if we have sort of a really open source EFI, a Libre EFI, and then a system like refined, this is the good direction, I think. We are not there yet.
Yeah, and I have used refined, and it is a very nice option to be able to select.
Yes.
Without, so the argument that was made with Solus was, oh well, you can just hit your BIOS key to select your boot.
Yes.
The problem is if you don't catch it in that 3 seconds that you get or whatever.
Yes.
And so something like Refine that comes up with a boot menu is a good option, but I don't find the native option to be a very user-friendly way to do that.
And also, it depends also on the implementation of the UEFI by the vendor or by the manufacturer, because sometimes they tend to detect the EFI executable at a certain place, and other vendors have done that at another place. And we will show it tonight with VirtualBox, for instance. We have to do a hack so that it can boot in UEFI, because it doesn't check it at the normal place. It will check it at another place. And some vendors on real hardware do that also.
Okay.
And this is why it fails for certain people. They can't boot because on their hardware, it is in another place, and the script to try to boot, it doesn't go there. It goes in normally the standard place, but it isn't there, and the system can't boot.
We are down to under a minute.
Okay.
Do the countdown here.
Yes. So it is also, with Slackware you'll see, it is an ncurses installer. It was like that in 1993. We are in 2019. It's still like that, but it is an easy one. It's not.
I appreciate a good ncurses installer. I really do.
Yes, because you will see the questions are really obvious, and you have help into that ncurses install. For instance, for someone who hasn't used, who is accustomed to either Anaconda or Calamares or Ubiquity, something like that. Well, if he can read, he has a good help in the ncurses itself, and we will show it so that he can read what he doesn't understand, which is not obvious, for instance, because you can't use the mouse in that ncurses install. You have to use the keyboard, and this is something some users are not accustomed to. So with the help, they know how to navigate into that ncurses.
So I'm going to go ahead and set that as the boot ISO for that machine. And then do I just start, or is there a key combination or something?
So you will see by default it is American QWERTY. So it is EN US. But we have to show for people, for instance, for Europeans, how do they do it? How do they choose their language? So you can press Enter.
Okay.
And you will see it will boot the huge kernel. This is why you have the 2.9 gigs, of course, because you have everything in it. So here you see, it will be by default, it will be English US, but type 1, so that people, for instance, someone like Henk van het Internet who lives in the Netherlands, where does he have to go? So you have now to choose your type of keyboard, the one for you, for US, I think it's the first one. But here it is, you see, with the arrow, you can go down and people can select their own keyboard layout. But for you, it will be, of course, be AZT US.
Got it. Okay.
Got it? Now you have to type. So type in your keyboard to see if it's okay, I think. Mm-hmm. So you delete it. You delete you press Enter, and you press 1. 1 is to accept, yes, Enter. So you have accepted. This is how to accept your keyboard. You try it, you delete, you do Enter, you press 1, you do Enter. And it will be in the key map layout, the keyboard layout you have to be in. So here, it tells you what you have to do. You see, you will log in as root without password. And if you read, you have to prepare the partitioning and things like that before typing setup, which will launch the installer. So as we are in UEFI, we will use a Gdisk. No, not CFDisk now. With the GPT.
I won't hit it. I'll start typing, but I won't hit enter.
Okay, Gdisk space, and in principle it will be /dev/sda. /dev.
Yes.
/sda. Enter. Okay, you see, at the moment nothing is present. Sure, we haven't started yet. So you can type the question mark to see all the commands which are available for us. You see, it resembles very to fdisk, but it is done with a GPT, so with the GUID partition table. So what are we going to do? We are going to create a new, so you type n, enter. It is the first by default. The first is by default. You type enter. And here you type +2 capital M. We give 2 megabytes for the BIOS boot partition. You enter. And for the type of XML code is EF02. Yes, enter. Okay. Now you type N for the second partition. Is 2. Yes, that plus 500 M. 500 M, yes. The code is EF00. Enter. Then N. 3. Yes. Plus 500. And we will accept the default 8300. N. Yes. 4. Okay. And you do enter all the time, because it will be, no, not plus.
Okay, just all
enter.
Okay.
We accept. So for people who would like to have a swap, here in VirtualBox we are not going to do this, but for people who would like to have a swap, they can create, with GPT, you can go to 128 partitions. So you can create a swap partition if you need it. For instance, on a laptop, if you use hibernation or suspend, you might need that option, but here in VirtualBox, it has no sense, so we won't use it. So you can press enter, and now you can type P to print, to see what has happened. You see, you've got 4 partitions. One, which is the BIOS boot partition, a very small one, where we won't mount any file system on that one. Then your ESP, your EFI system partition, which is the second one. Then the third partition, which we will use as a boot partition. And the fourth one is the remainder for root. Okay. We will use here a command. So you type C to create the labels, C. Enter. You type 3 for the third one. Enter. And here you give boot partition. You name it boot partition. Yes, enter. Then you type C, the fourth, and you type root partition. Okay, now you can print to see the difference. And you see now that the label, the name has changed. So for you, it's easier to identify, so /dev/sda3, what is it? Of course, with the size, you would know it. But sometimes it's not obvious if the size is almost the same. What is it for? Here, you have done something to help you to name it in a way that it is obvious for you. So what are we going to do here? We need to set a special attribute for the compatibility with the legacy BIOS. And how do we do it? We enter the expert mode by typing X. Yes, you can type question mark to see the commands that are available. And you see from all these commands, and this is good if you have to repair, for instance, something in UEFI with GPT. You have plenty of options to repair when something goes wrong. Of course, you have to read the man page of Gdisk to know how to proceed, but it is there. In one of these options, you will be able to repair if something goes wrong. But here, at this moment, we need to set that special attribute, and we will put A, enter. So the partition number we need to have is the third one, enter. And which attribute do we have to take? It is the number 2. You see, the legacy BIOS bootable. Enter. Okay, now you can press enter because we don't have to do anything with another partition. We are still in expert command. How do we go out of this? You type M to go to the menu. Enter, and you see now you are in the normal mode. And for this normal mode, you can type W because we have finished. Yes, enter. Okay. It will ask you, are you sure? And you type yes, and you see the operation has completed successfully. No error, everything is in order. Now we can go through the installer. How do you launch this installer? You type setup in one word. You see. So for people who have no clue how to use an ncurses, you have a help, and if you press OK, you can do it to show the people. You see, you have every explanation on how to navigate into that ncurses. It explains everything. So if you don't understand the meanings of this, you see, you have to read, and you will know how to do it. So here you see, you can say OK. So you don't have to remap your key map because by default it is English US. But for other people, they have to go into key map because even though you entered another key map, if you don't use the English US key map, here you have to do it for your future installation. But we don't have to do it because you use a swap. We don't have a swap partition. But here for people who have created a swap partition, if they had done this, they had to go there, but we don't. We go to target. Enter. So as you see, it asks you, where are you going? Yes. And you select that one, you enter. So you format, yes, okay. ext4 is good. Now it takes the SD3, you select it, you format it, you choose ext4 is also good.
That's the boot partition, right?
And you /boot, yes.
Okay.
Type /boot, yes. You see, okay, it has defined and for SD. Now it says, you see, it has detected an EFI system partition, and it asks you, would you like that one to be? Yes, it has to be formatted in FAT32 or in VFAT. It will do it for you. You see, if you look at the third field, it has done VFAT for you. So you say, okay, yes. And here we will do it from a CD or DVD. But you see, in Slackware, you have plenty of choices to boot. You can boot from a USB, from a hard drive, from an NFS server, from an FTP server, from a Samba share, or even from a pre-mounted directory.
So the static nature of Slackware, so if you have a system image somewhere, can you take that image somewhere else and then use it? Like
Yes, that's it. You can use that image elsewhere, and this is one of the options you would have. But here, as we have the emulation of a DVD in VirtualBox, we will choose the first option.
Okay.
And you do the automatic. Okay. It will detect it. Okay, here it is important that we unselect some fields. So the Linux base, for sure. The various applications, we need them. The program development, for sure. The GNU Emacs is not needed if you don't use Emacs. If you are an Emacs fanboy, you let it, of course, enable. The FAQ, we won't use it in VirtualBox. You can disable it. The Linux kernel source, we will use it. The KDE, no, we are doing i3WM. The system libraries, we need them. So you can go with the arrow down. What is the tech? We can keep it not long. The X Windows and system and the X applications are needed, but you can go down. So you can disable the games and the XFCE. We don't need. Yes, okay. We will go with a TERS. It will show you one package per line. Here, it will install all the packages of the core system.
Okay.
So one line at a time, and you can see, so the package A, you can see what type of packages are in the directory A, because Patrick has decided to put a collection of packages in a folder with a letter which has a meaning. So you will see the different folders and the different packages in those different folders.
Okay. If I
yes,
if I were to do a net install, it would have to go out and get all of these packages from.
It would have to go, for instance, from an FTP server or from an NFS server or something like that. So from a server from which you can download, and this is why you had to enable PAE/NX. We won't do it here, but you had to enable that.
Okay. So then, the upfront time of someone maybe not being near that mirror of getting the 3 GB disk, ultimately it's going to be a better experience because.
Yes, because here you have all the packages are on that ISO, yes. Because you see, the time you lost for downloading that ISO, you would lose it now for installing the packages if you had to download them from, for instance, from a place which is very distant from where you live. You would have.
My experience as well has been sometimes if you don't have the best internet connection, you could get partway through downloading packages and installing and have it fail. And then you've got a system that's not really stable, obviously. So downloading the larger DVD image and then having all of the packages local, that makes more sense. So, and this is why I do these streams, because I make all these mistakes and everyone else can learn from them. And because I know in particular Matt Dark One was very interested in installing Slackware, so that's why he's here today.
Yes, so this because with Derek of DisruptTube, we did it with Legacy BIOS MBR. This is why I wanted to do something else tonight. Tonight for me, today for you.
Yeah.
Because I did it with him last year, and UEFI is closer to something on real hardware. So what we do here on VirtualBox, in Virtuals we have to do a hack. On the real hardware, normally you won't have to do that. So I will show you the commands to do that, and this should work on real hardware.
So
yes,
if you were to do this install and you had this image in VirtualBox, and this just might be a dumb question, I've got a fully deployed system. Can I take that image and move that onto hardware, or would that just be silly? There's no.
No. You have to make a bootable ISO in one way or another.
Okay.
So yes.
So you could then theoretically configure a system the way you want it, and then create a bootable ISO from that.
Yes, that's it.
That would be interesting.
Yes.
So what are some of the use cases then for someone using Slackware? Obviously the stability and the fact that you are very explicitly telling the system, what you want and what things to install, and how it's configured. And
so you will see later in the installation, you will see one of the reasons. It is used by system administrators because it is more solid than Debian. Because Slackware, Patrick gives you a core system which is rock solid, and he cares for the changes of all the libraries and packages in that core system. So if something changes in there, he will also check the dependencies and will do everything for you so that the core system remains stable. So if you're a system administrator and you don't use X, you've got a very solid system, and you can use it for doing, and you will see all the services which will be available if you are a system administrator later in the installation. This is one of the use cases. Now, for someone who wants to use Slackware on the desktop, it will give you a core system which is rock solid, and then you install by yourself the packages that you need in the way, and there are different ways to do this, and I will show a few of them tonight. And you are, of course, responsible for what happens with these packages, because you had decided to install them in the way you want it. So Patrick told you, that's up to you. I give you a core system which is rock solid, What you do outside of the core system is your own responsibility.
So then in theory, if you get a system set up on your hardware,
Yes,
configured the way that it needs to be, it could run indefinitely in that state.
yes. And for a server, it is ideal. If you take the stable branch of Slackware, so I don't know when, but at a certain moment, Slackware 15.0 will come out, and you take that one, you're good to go for years. Exactly as the people who went with the 14.2 on June 2016, they're still there in 2019, and it still works. People who are, for instance, on Salix, their system works. So
that's impressive. That
yes,
really
it's
is
impressive. And the forum and the wiki on Salix, which is Slackware stable with XFCE, I mean, the documentation is excellent. They have an excellent web site, and their forum is extremely user-friendly. No RTFM there. And Slackware, for instance, doesn't have their own forum. But there is a forum where they are, and this is Linux questions space Slackware. There you will have, if you have a problem, it is there that you should go to ask the veterans of Slackware, well, I have that issue, this is what I've done, I can't solve it, can you help me in one way or another? And they help you very quickly. I even asked Alien Bob, because at some point something weird was happening, and I couldn't find why. And Alien Bob responded to me in an email the exact reason why it happened, because I had used one of his special ISO, the Mate ISO, and I had weird things happening on the system. And he told me exactly what the problem was and how to solve it.
And is that's just well, so if he's compiling all these packages, obviously
yes. He knows his stuff quite well, because he can build Slackware from the minimal ISO, because he suggests it, he offers you that solution. He knows how to do it, because he knows exactly in which order you have to build these dependencies, because he compiles them himself, so he knows the right order. He can do it. I wouldn't be able to do this, because I don't know exactly. I should do LFS first. Doing LFS, then I would know the dependencies, because in LFS you have to do everything by yourself. There is nothing there. You have to build and compile everything by yourself. But then you learn what depends on what. And then I would know in which order I would take the binaries in the Slackware minimal ISO.
Got it. So in a system like Gentoo, as we've been watching you work with Zeb, and you're being very specific about hardware and kernel parameters and things like that. Yes. I know you can still build the kernel to your satisfaction here as well. But in terms of the difference between using Alien Bob's pre-compiled binaries, or using or compiling it yourself, is there any advantage to either of those?
Yes, I mean, obviously, it's always the same. If you compile it from source, you decide which configuration parameters you are going to choose, because Alien Bob has decided to compile it with certain configuration parameters. His parameters might not be yours. You might have another idea on how to compile it. And also, he did compile it on his server, so on a specific architecture. You might want to compile it on your architecture, which might be totally different, and take advantage of the precise set of instructions of your CPU.
Got it.
Yes, for instance, next year, Zeb, with his Threadripper second generation, we can rebuild all the system with the GCC once we can put ZNVER2 in the make.conf, and then all the packages will be compiled. Then they will be really optimized, because then we can take the special set of instructions of the Threadripper second generation. So people who have the Threadripper third generation, it makes no sense on Gentoo, because you can't take advantage. The third generation will be, for instance, within 2 years maybe, because next year GCC 10 will have the support for ZNVER2, and for ZNVER3 it will come 11 or GC12, so it's too early.
Got it.
Okay.
So it's generating an initial RAM disk.
Yes.
Thought cache.
Yes. So you will have plenty of fonts, thanks to Patrick. Yes. So
Okay.
here you skip. We won't make a USB boot device. So here, what does it says? Skip installing Lilo because we won't install Lilo. And here, do not install eLilo because we will install grub. Yes. Okay. So would you like to have a little tiny support of copy and paste in the console or not? It's up to you.
Sure.
Yes, then you say yes. Would you like to configure? For sure, we need internet connectivity. So you decide the hostname you want. So here you can take local domain, but it doesn't matter. You don't have domain, so local domain, enter. Here you will take DHCP because we are in i3WM, not in XFC. In XFC you might choose Network Manager, but here in i3WM we will go for something simple, DHCP. Yes, you say okay. You say okay, unless you have a proxy, but I don't think so. Yes. So you see here it is where you can check and define all the services you would like as a system administrator. As we won't use here Slackware as a server, we will take what is enabled by default, but we will not add other services. So you say, okay, well, we won't try some custom font. So here it says, you have to choose. Yes, you choose UTC, okay. But for people who are in, who would dual boot with, oh, no. You said Hunter on the first one. Oh, that's a problem. That might.
I messed up.
Okay, I don't know. So you have to say yes. You have to define the password.
Okay.
Now I don't know which.
Can we get back to that?
No, but it's no problem. I know how the workaround for it. So now you will reboot your system. So don't press enter too quickly. So exit. Okay.
There's no way to get back to where I was.
Maybe to
through configure, probably, right?
Reconfigure. It is, what is it? Your Linux system. Oh, you can see yes. Say okay there. Oh no. Say no. What is it you have already?
So it's just saying, do you want to replace the ones that are already there? Okay, so now
okay, you go to exit. Remove the installation disk. If you can remove it from, but I think it's already removed. But you can try with devices and see if it is ejected.
It ejected it, yeah.
Okay, so you say okay. Now you say no. This is important. Otherwise, okay. So to see where it is mounted, you type mount without any option. Enter. You see, everything is on /mnt. So what are we going to do? We are going to chroot in /mnt. So chroot space chroot space /mnt space /bin/bash. Yes. And now we have to source the profile. How do we do this? We have 3 commands for it. Dot space /etc /profile. Enter. Okay. And now we will proceed for the grub installation. Grub exists, but it's not installed. But for EFI, we have to pay attention. So it is grub-install space $target equals x86_64_EFI space $EFI directory equals /boot/EFI space double hyphen bootloader hyphen ID equals grub. Enter. So you see, finished, no error reported. Now we have to do grub.
Sorry, again.
So
Grub. Okay.
we have to do grub hyphen mkconfig space -o space /boot /grub no /boot /grub.cfg.
Yeah, this
Enter.
game I've played before. Okay.
Enter. So what did he find? So he found the huge image, and you are on kernel 4.19.67. So on Slackware, you are always on an LTS version of the kernel. So at the moment, it's 4.19. So we haven't finished yet, because the problem is the emulation of UEFI on VirtualBox is extremely primitive. And because of that, we have to do a hack so that we can boot into UEFI mode for Slackware in VirtualBox. And to do this, we will create the directories where VirtualBox is expecting mcdir space -p
-p
space /boot /lowercase EFI /uppercase EFI /boot. Enter.
Okay.
And now we will copy where grub has installed his own stuff in relation with EFI. It's boot EFI capital EFI /grub /grub tab completion, G tab completion, tab completion. Yes, you see, it is grub x64 EFI. This is the standard place, but some vendors, they don't put it there. They put it somewhere else, and I will show you. It's /boot. Yes, boot /EFI capital EFI /boot boot x64.efi x64.efi. Enter. Now we exit, and now we can reboot. You type reboot, yes, it will work.
That's a good sign.
Yes, it's a very good sign. You see 4.19.67.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've always loved the core count number of penguins across the top of the screen.
Yes.
DHCP.
Yes, you have an IP address.
Yep.
SSH started.
Yep.
Okay, so your root. You have to remember the root password, because I don't know your root password. You type root.
I do remember it.
Okay, so now you've got Slackware, but mainly as a server, because we have disabled almost everything, and we will now use the packages to build and to compile i3WM. So how do we do this? We need to avoid being root while we download something from the internet. We will first create Eric Adams as a user. So you can choose as a user add or add user, the one you are accustomed to. Which one do you use normally?
User add normally.
User add is good. You will take user add.
Hang on, I gotta redo my screen. Sorry. Not sure what happened. Okay.
user-act space -m space capital G space audio,
I'm sorry.
AUDIO, audio.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, comma. No space here, comma.
Right.
Video, comma, wheel, comma, users with an S, space, no comma, -s, space, /bin/bash, and then your username that you wish. Okay, PASSWD, Eric, and define a password for you. Okay, exit. Yes, so now you are a standard users, which I prefer because we will go to the internet to download the SBO PKG. So for this, either you will type what I tell you, or you use links. I don't know what do you prefer?
You can just tell it to me, and I'll type it out.
So I will tell you then the complete. It is wget space https /github.com /sbopkg once more sbopkg /releases /download /0.38.1 /sbopkg -0.31.1 no arch, so NOARCH -1 underscore WSR.tgz. Don't press enter that I see what you typed. No arch 1 WSR, and then it is TGZ.
Oh, TGZ.
TGZ. So enter. So not found. Just a moment. We'll see what you typed. Actually, github.com, sbopkg releases, download, 0.38 sbopkg-1. Just I will see the exact. So download 0.31.1, 0.31.1, yes, and then sbopkg-0.31.1 0 it's my fault, 38.1. No, that one is good. That one is 38. Yes. Okay. So ls you must see if it's there. Normally it should be there, but we must check it. Okay, it's there. So no. We don't untar it. You see, oof. It's the Slackware package. So now you need to be root. How do you do? You don't type sudo because you're not in the sudo. Type su. Yes. No, not hyphen. No hyphen, because you have to stay in this directory because the package is there. Yes. So now you type. You see, you have a package with the Slackware format. How do you do this? You say install pkg in one word. No, in one word, pkg space s-tab completion. Yes, enter. And it is installed. So you have to stay as root because we will use sbopkg. So you type sbopkg alone, enter, and you say C to create. In fact, to create, you will have an enter. You will have an ncurses dialog window. Yes, enter. And the first thing you have to do is to sync. because you haven't synced once, so you have to sync, and now it will download, and you will have a sort of local repository of all the Slack builds, which are on slackbuilds.org. They will be now on your system.
So is it a stretch to say this is something like Portage?
Yes, but it doesn't have all the advantage of Portage. Portage is highly complex and gives you a lot of options, a lot of features, and resolves the dependencies. Here, it's not the same. So,
Okay.
Exit. So, in this case, we will exit. Return. Yes, and we will go to. I will see how they spell it. Presumably it is I3WM, but I have to see. No, they call it I3 and not I3WM. So if you had to use SBO-PKG, we will show it later, but as there are many dependencies, you would have to go through all windows to get the right selection of dependencies in the right order. There is a tool, thanks to SBO-PKG, which will create it for you. So you type SQG, space, -p, space, I3. Yes, enter. So it has created a queue for you with all the dependencies needed to compile. So now you open SBO-PKG. Enter. You go to queue. Enter. You go to load a saved queue. Enter. And you press yes, and you say OK. You go to view the queue, view the current queue. Yes, you see, all the dependencies are there in the right order. If you don't use that command I showed you, you would have to do that yourself. So you would have to go to the website.
All of them. Yeah.
Yes, you have to go to the website to click to see what is the dependencies of the first, then to click on the dependency of the dependency and so on. Here, it has done it for you.
So was SPQ like Slackware Package Q? Is that what that was?
SBO-PKG is Slack Builds organization, slackbuilds.org, PKG package. And here you can type OK. And you go to process. You go to the last one. We will process the current. You type OK. Install, download, and build. Yes, OK. And you start. And now it will compile for you. Here we are like in Gentoo. You see it compiles from source.
Are there
binary
packages of these things created, or just the base system?
Yes, there are also binaries. But here, as we have the latest Slackware ISO with the latest version of GCC, with the latest version of all libraries, it will compile against those libraries. The binaries, which are, and we will see once you have a browser, because at this moment you don't. Yes, you have a browser. We haven't entered a graphical session yet. I will show you a site where you can download these binaries. But these binaries have been compiled against which version of GCC, against which version of glibc, and so on. You see, and that's a problem.
Got it.
It might work. I'm not saying it won't work. It might work. It's not sure.
Okay. Well, while this is running, we haven't looked at the chat in a while. Does anybody have any questions?
So now I can read what is in the chat because I was concentrating on what you did.
No, you've really helped me get through this. I appreciate it.
Okay. So, Signore Valentino, Italiano or no?
I need to step away for just like 1 minute, Serge. I'll be right back.
Yes, okay. Alan, Slackware è como agua para chocolate. It's already finished. I3 is compiled. I can speak 6 languages, Aries. French, Dutch, English, German, a little bit of Italian, a little bit of Spanish, and Polish. MX is excellent, and you know it, EB. You should stay on MX Linux. Yes, Alan, i3 WM is great and is the next challenge for the BIDL, for Regolith. So that part will be handled by Eric Adams. I'm showing him how to install i3 on Slackware, how to install the packages, and how to use i3 will be for him. So you, Eric, you can press enter. Okay, I think you unmuted yourself.
Yes, I did.
So you can press enter. It's already compiled.
Okay.
We will clear the queue, not keep it clear.
Sorry.
No problem. I will
Can I go back and delete?
So, and here you go back. You tap back.
Oh, just go back.
Yes, and you tap exit. Okay, you see, we've got i3, but at this stage, if we start going to i3, we will have a problem because we don't have i3 status, because all the dependencies for i3 didn't include i3 status. So to avoid it, now I will show you how you can use SBO PKG without using SQG. So you type SBO PKG, enter, and you go to Serge. Yes, and you type i3 status. Yes, enter. So, as you have only one package, no. You go to OK. If you had several packages to include, then you would add it to the queue. You would go search another package, add it to the queue, and so on. Then view the queue, then sort the queue in the right order, and then proceed to the queue. Here, as we have the i3 status, it's OK. You can type OK, enter. We go to process. OK, and yes, OK. And it will start, and it will compile it. Oh, what is it? Would you like to continue? Error. We miss something. So I will see, we miss a dependency. I will type it, and this is how we can see it. It's good to see the configuration has failed. It means that I missed, probably confused. Yes, the other one is there. So it's good that you say no. We will abort it.
Okay.
Okay. You say no. You didn't say no. You put A.
I tried to hit backspace.
Yes, but I don't know. Control C. See it.
There we go.
Okay. So SBO PKG, and you search. Yes, you type confuse. There is a dependency. Confuse. Yes. Enter. You add it to the queue. We need it. Okay. Okay. You go back. No, back. Yes. You type i3 status. No, status. Yes. Enter. You add it to the queue. Okay. Now we go to the main menu. Main menu. Yes. We go to queue. Okay. We go to view the queue. Yes. And we see that confuse, which is dependency of i3 status, is before, so will be compiled before i3 status. So at this point, it is good. So you say, OK. No, you say OK. And you go to process. Yes. And you say, OK. OK. Start.
Okay. So i3 status knew that it had a dependency and it wouldn't build because of it.
So the config of i3 status, you see it's okay. The config of i3 status was checking for the library confuse, couldn't find it, so it says, oh, sorry, I can't configure it, there is a missing part.
Okay.
We will clear it, we won't keep it. Okay. Exit, so back, sorry. And then exit, yes, tab, exit, yes. Okay, now we have i3 and we have the i3 status. But now we need to tell Slackware that we will enter i3 and not the one you chose. And I don't remember which one was chosen by default. So to do this, we need xwmconfig.
Okay.
xwmconfig. Enter. And you choose, of course, i3. Okay, say okay. So now you have to so exit, because we will enter i3 as a, and so what key would you like to have, because the question will be asked for you, what key would you like to have as the mod key? Do you want the Windows key or the Alt key?
Yeah, I'll just use the meta key, the Windows key.
The Windows key. So you have to answer the questions accordingly, because it will ask you 2 questions. So you do start X, enter. Okay, so yes, you enter because you want that it generates the config file for you. And here you say the Windows key, so you can set enter. And now, as you know, by default, if you type the Windows key and yes, enter, you've got your terminal. And now we can show how to install packages. So could you type the Windows key and D and type FIR and enter to get Firefox? I don't know. You had to enter. Ah, yes, sorry. It was so quick, I thought you... Okay, and we go to... you can resize the second. If you wish, you can click between the two. Oh, yes, you can do it like this. But otherwise, you can drag it to resize it if you wish. Yes. It's
so in terms of the screen sizing itself, is there a way to change the resolution of the screen?
Yes. Okay, we will change it. Could you open a menu? Sorry, the menu. I mean the terminal.
Yes. Oops, sorry.
So mod enter. So Windows enter.
Just switch to a different.
Okay. You type xrender -q. So which one would you like to have as a resolution?
Let's do the 1920. No, that's too big. Let's do just 1600 by 900. So just something that's big enough that we can actually see the screen.
It's up to you. So you type xrender space -s space, and then you choose the resolution in the left column, one of the resolutions.
Okay. Well, you know what? Let's just do the big one.
Enter. Okay. And now you are in that resolution.
Yeah. There we go.
Okay. So I will show you now.
Is that too small for people on the stream?
Or probably it will be too small for people on the stream.
Yeah, let me set it to something else then.
You can set it to another resolution.
1280 by 1084. That should be 1280 by 1024.
So you need to type xrender.
Okay, yeah, it's still going to be a little too small, I guess.
It's too small?
Well, I'm looking at the stream window, and it's really tiny text, so I don't want the.
Okay, so you know what? You can get a small screen resolution, but not too small, and scale in VirtualBox.
Right, and it'll look right to me, but what I'm saying is in the stream it doesn't.
Yes, I know, but if you go in a scaled mode in VirtualBox, they will see it. So you have to reduce the resolution because 920 will be too great. You reduce the resolution there with X-Render.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
Use the scale mode in VirtualBox, and then it should be. They should see what you type in the terminal.
So what do you have a 1024 by 768?
Yes, yes, and you use the scale mode of VirtualBox.
Okay. Which I've done. Let me. I'm just gonna pop the screen back in because I think it wasn't picking it up quite right.
Yes, on YouTube, it's
there you go. It's better now.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Looks good now. Okay. Sorry. All right. So we are installing.
But are you in scale mode? Yes.
I am, and it looks fine for me now.
Okay. Yeah. But for the chat in YouTube, is it good? I can read it, but I don't know if the people in the chat can read it. Oh, they say they can see it. Okay. So you go to pkgs.org. And you type, you see, you've got a search field above. You click, and in the drop-down menu, you put Slackware Current. Slackware Current, yes. And now you type above, for instance, SM Player. Yes. You go down until you find Slackware Current. You see, you've got Slackle has it, but we won't take that one. You go down, you scroll down. And we will take the Slack only x86 underscores. You click not on that one, but on SM Player itself. On the package, no, not that one.
The 17.9?
Yes, you click on that one, on the 17, yes. There you go a little bit down. Yes, you see, there is no requires, so there is no dependencies. You have to go down. And you download. You click on the binary package and you save it. So you open a terminal, because at this moment we don't have a file manager. Don't forget it.
Right. Okay.
Yes. You go PWD to see where are we. PWD. So CD downloads. Yes, enter ls for SM Player. So what do we do? SU, yes, your root password, and install pkg s tab completion. Yes, enter. So it is installed. So now you can type the Windows key ND. Type SM Player. Yes, it doesn't enter. Yes, and you say no, we won't use the new version, and you've got your SM Player.
That's fantastic.
So this is one way, because that package, the only dependency is already there, is mPlayer, but mPlayer is installed on that system. Okay. It is only a GUI front end for mPlayer, and it is installed. You see, this is one way to install packages. The other way, we did it through SBO PKG to compile. Now, we have to cross our fingers because we will download packages from Alien Bob. So, could you open Firefox? And type in your search engine, type Alien Bob. Alien, not in one word, in two words. Alien Bob space Slack builds. Slack builds. Yes, enter. You go to the first site, index of Alien Slack builds. Yes. And you go down. And until you find LibreOffice. Somewhere you have LibreOffice. Yes, you go package 64, pkg 64. No, yes, you go in current, and you download the fourth one. So the LibreOffice -625, the Alien TXZ. And we shall see how long it takes, because could you open to see how long it will take?
About 7 minutes.
So it's not too bad, because
No.
I was afraid that because it is in the Netherlands, that you
Okay.
might have from the United States, you might have a problem for downloading this package.
Is it there aren't mirrors because it just isn't widely used?
Yes,
or-
all this infrastructure is in the Netherlands. So, you don't pay for it, huh? He has to pay for maintaining his infrastructure, but you don't pay for getting his package. And I can tell you, LibreOffice to compile, well, for me, for instance, it takes 90 minutes.
Oh my, okay.
But on Zep's Threadripper, it will be shorter. I mean, probably less than 20 minutes. But
Now,
when I compile it, it takes 90 minutes.
you had mentioned, so I know you guys said to do the workaround for Threadripper because the current kernel doesn't have the support
Yes,
for
the
it.
problem was that we couldn't use the best optimization for the CPU, because GCC 9.2 has only a very tiny support of that architecture. So I had to use the native architecture, which is not as good as the specific architecture.
Okay. So, and you said though that's going to
next year in GCC 10 we will have sort of full support for the second generation of the Threadripper. Yes.
Yes, Zeb, we know you have a Threadripper.
Yes. That's it. Well, I hope so, Valentino, that the problem for 15.0 to take so long is Patrick, unfortunately, doesn't like Plasma. He finds Plasma too buggy, and there are plenty of plenty of libraries, and he has to do that alone. So he doesn't like, there are too many packages for him, and so we will probably have XFCE, that's for sure. And maybe he waited until 4.14 came out, which happened recently. And we will have, of course, the window managers, no problem at all. But what is he going to choose as the other major desktop environment? I don't know. Alien Bob told him that he would take care of Plasma and of Mate, that's for sure. But in the Slackware ISO itself, I have no idea at this moment what will happen with the major desktop environment. So could you hear what I said?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I just did put you up on.
I thought you went away, so I thought you.
No, I just put you up
yourself.
on full camera.
Okay.
Yeah, I just figured let them see you.
This is I don't know, but there was a lot of debate because KDE4, which is present in the ISO of the 14.2, is out of end of life. I mean, so he can't keep it, but what is he going to replace it with? And that was the debate. You see, he wasn't very hot for Plasma, while Alien Bob was. So I think they had a lot of discussions, and I don't know what will come out, in fact, finally, when 15.0 comes out. So I think people think the stream is finished, but the stream is not finished. It's just that it takes some time to download.
Yeah.
package.
So hey, if you're in the Netherlands or anywhere near there,
I am near there.
yeah. So this is
For
probably
me, it's quickly done. I can tell you.
yeah. So are there any packages that you would prefer to compile rather than download like this?
Oh yes, the small. What we did with i3, you see, it was very quick, and this it's better to compile because then you have the latest version of that package. But for big packages like LibreOffice, like VLC in a certain way, because VLC has a lot of dependencies, like Firefox, if you had to compile it yourself, would take, because of Rust, would take a lot of time. For sure, Qt Web Engine, this takes, if you don't use the jumbo build use flag, more than 6 hours to compile one package. And with jumbo build, 3 hours.
Okay.
So these are packages, of course, you would prefer to get a binary because it takes too long to, unless you've got a Threadripper, because then, of course, the compilation time is much shorter.
So, so then really what we're seeing then is you have the option of deciding which ones you want to.
You choose the way. You can compile from source, ideal for small packages or a few dependencies and not big packages, I mean. Very good. And otherwise, you can go, you see, you can go to Alien's, what have you seen? He's got plenty of Slack builds and plenty of packages that he did compile. But you can go to, on pkgs.org, you've got an Italian Ponce who did it also. You've got Slack only, who did, they have done a lot of packages. Slackle, which is a Slackware current plus OpenBox. That guy is a Greek. He has done a lot of packages by himself. So you see, you've got plenty of contributors around Patrick Volkerding to get those packages. Patrick is busy only with the core system.
Okay. And you can still just get any code from anywhere and still compile it with the compiler outside of the...
Yes. Slackware has a wiki to tell you how you can compile it from source without any, any tool like SBO PKG or by downloading a Slack build. See, but I will show you another tool which is very useful and that Patrick found, 26 years ago. It was already there, and I will show you what you can do with that package, with that tool. Sorry.
Okay.
Oh, it's almost finished.
Well, that's very interesting that it is piecemeal, and you can benefit from someone else's effort of compiling packages, but then also have the flexibility to get what you need. Okay. And it's interesting to think of software as a, most of us are using systems that have package managers that are managing all of this for us.
Yes.
This is, and so from the idea that you're sort of etching this in stone in a way, and then able to just very gradually or very specifically manage those types of things. So it's really interesting.
Okay, we will open a terminal. So I think you are in the downloads PWD, but I think you're there. Yes, ls.
And I'm still root.
Yes, that's good. You have to be root.
Right. Just making sure.
Yes, ls. So it's there. So install pkg. L tab completion. Yes, enter.
So you mentioned the default or the available desktop environments. It is a subset of environments, but I take it you could probably compile it yourself if you were so inclined.
So on Slackware, what do you have? You have KDE4 by default. You have XFCE by default. You have 3 or 4 window managers by default. Now, outside that, if you wish, you can take the special Plasma ISO from Alien Pop, the special Mate ISO from Alien Pop. You can compile, for instance, OpenBox i3WM. Window managers are very easy to compile, so you can do it that way. And Now, for GNOME 3, impossible. Slackware doesn't have systemd. There is someone who did a D Lackware to get Slackware with systemd. Maybe it's possible to get GNOME 3 on D Lackware, but I'm not sure. I've never tried that one. And for other, like Pantheon cinnamons, I don't know. I have no clue.
Gotcha. Okay.
So it's a big package, as you see. So it's done. So could you type to open the D menu and type LibreOffice?
Oh, just it is Libre because it starts with LibreOffice.
LibreOffice, yes. Enter. It crashes. Okay, so I'm. Is it waiting to open or did it crash?
I don't know if the wait cursor is telling us that or not.
No, okay. I think it is missing someone. Okay, you see what? Could you open a terminal and not as root, but so exit and type LibreOffice -writer. And so warning failed. What?
Live boost locale
cannot open the share, so it needs boost. So we'll see if we have that one. Maybe we don't have that one. So how do you solve that issue? cd /usr /lib64. Enter. Now ls. No. ls pipe grep, and then it was type lib boost. Let's see what comes out. That one. Yes, enter. So we have to go. We cannot scroll. So could you type? We see it was the locale. We have to go down the locale. We have the 1.71, and we have to go back to the error to see which one it was asking.
I don't have enough scroll.
We won't be able. So we have the 1.71. So I see this. Could you? Yes. And it's asking the 170. Cannot open. So we will try one thing. It's not sure that it will succeed. Sometimes it says an undefined symbol. Then we have to get the previous version of boost. So how do we do this? You type. So the one is the locale, and we have the 1.71.0. So you type ln space -s. Okay. Yes, you can type the full the absolute path lib64 lib boost locale tab completion and .1.71.0 and then /usr /lib64 /lib boost _locale tab completion. No. LO locale tab completion. Yes, and now .1.70.0. Yes, enter. Yes, you need to be root, of course. No, you need to type su. Okay, and okay, and retype ln same. The first locale has to be the one which exists, so the 1.71, no, 1.71.0. And the second one has to be the one he wants to find. .1.70.0. Enter. So you exit as root. You type LibreOffice Writer, yes. And so what does it say? So the system now. So we have to do the same for the system. Yes, you change only with system.
That's not me, in case you're wondering.
Okay. It's my wife with the television.
It's okay.
.0. Yes. Okay. Enter. Exit, and then try again. So what does it tell you now? The IO string. Yes. Okay.
It's probably going to be all of them.
Yes, we will see until. Okay, the file system.
This is like some sort of rite of passage now. I'm certain
yes,
of it.
but this is how you solve the issues. But it could be that at a certain moment it says undefined symbol. Then we have to do something else.
I'm just teasing. Oh! Hooray!
Yes, there you it. You see? This is how you solve the issues. It doesn't work always like that. If it doesn't work, then we have to find the previous version of Boost and take it from one of the packages.org. And in Slackware, you can have the two. You see, the Slackware, which is the 1.71, another one which would be the 170, and they exist at the same time, which would be impossible on Debian. It will say it conflicts. It wants to install, but it is impossible because it enters in conflict with. On Slackware, there is no conflict. You solve the issues the way you want.
Gotcha. Are there times?
Yes.
So you're saying essentially there could be different ways to solve issues.
Yes. So
There's
that
not always
issue you could solve it by making a symbolic link between the previous version and the actual version. Sometimes it will tell you, okay, you did this symbolic link, but I have an undefined symbol. So it means that the previous version was compiled probably with a version of glibc, which was different than the one of the latest current ISO of Slackware. And then you have to find another way to get that old version of Boost. And Alien Pop has done some compatibilities issues. Maybe he hasn't done it yet. I don't know why. Or maybe he's compiling the 6.3. And with the 6.3, you need the Boost 1.71. You see? Maybe he's compiling the 6.3. That might be a reason.
Gotcha.
So, now I will tell you another tool for, and the last one for tonight. So if you go to packages.org, and yes, or you can go to the preceding one, the first tab, yes, okay. No, not in one word. It's my fault. It's pkjs.org. Yes. Yes, and you type leafpad. Leafpad.
It's nice that I remember.
Yes, we go to Fedora 30. No, Fedora 30. Yes, you click on the x86-64. You click on the RPM. you go a little bit down, and you click. No, not that. You go down. You see, it requires a lot of dependencies, but they are all there on Slackware, I can tell you. You go down, and you type on the download, you type on the binary RPM, not the source package RPM, the binary RPM, the first one, yes. You save it. Okay, it's a small package. You open a terminal. So, okay, you can Control C to get. Okay, your root is good. Oh no, you have to be root, but it's no problem. You can go to your download. Eric. Yes. Maybe you are in downloads, huh?
Yeah, I am.
pwd. No. Okay, we have to go cd /home. Yes, all that is good. It's also good, yes. Okay. Leafpad is there, so su, your password. And now you type rpm to tgz, rpm to tgz, le tab completion, le tab completion. Yes, enter. Okay, so it has created a Slackware package. So you can type ls, and you see you've got the .rpm, but you've got the .tgz. So now you type install pkg, a leafpad, but the tgz one, not the rpm one. Enter. Okay, the D menu, leafpad, and there you are. So you see, we can take all the packages of Fedora, of open source, but if there are dependencies which don't exist, you have to do the same with the dependencies first. And then, but all these dependencies were on, how to know it? Could you type LDD? So LDD space, no, we have to give an argument, LDD space $, open a bracket. It's a parenthesis. It's not a square bracket. It's a parenthesis. Yes, which, WHICH space, which leafpad, and you close the bracket. Yes, enter. And you've got all the dependencies, and you can see. And if one is missing, it will tell you not found. It's another way to see if you are missing a dependency or a library.
So it's looking against the RPM package when you use that command?
So the first one was RPM to TGZ. That was
so
a
now
tool
it's looking
to convert an RPM package into a Slackware package. And we had installed a Slackware package. We didn't install an RPM package. We installed a Slackware package. So we can take all the RPMs, and we can do the same with the Debian packages. There is a tool called AR. So you download a point dep. If you have the dependencies of the package you download, you type AR space X space, as I did with the ZEP on the last stream, and the point dep. It will extract it in 3 files. One is a control.tar.gz, another is data.tar.gz, and the third one is a Debian-binary. The Debian-binary we don't need on Slackware. The data, we untar it, and then we move all the files and directories into the right place with the right permissions and the right ownership, and we have a point dep on Slackware. So we can take all the dep, the Debian packages, all the RPM packages, we can compile from source, and we can install binary packages which are already in the Slackware format.
But we do need the source package or the binary package?
No. So if you convert, you need the binary package. For a dep, it will be the same. It will be the binary point dep, not the source.
Okay. So I'm going to do that with Xterm just to see if it'll show me. I'm just I think that's a really interesting thing to check there. So I want to do that LDD.
But extern presumably already exists in. You haven't. So no. You can't do that. You can't do that. It is not installed as a Slackware package. You have converted an RPM into a package with a Slackware, but it is not installed. You have to install it, and then you can use that command. You see? But
Okay,
normally,
so that's why I wanted to do that, because I didn't understand that part of it. I thought it was looking at the package itself before it was installed.
So RPM to TGZ converts a package which has the RPM format into a package which has the Slackware format. Then you, with install pkg, you install that package, and then you can use it.
Well, you can try to use it, but then if there's a missing dependency, you can use LDD.
Yes. Okay. And normally, extern should be already. How do you know if a package is installed? Could you delete your command there? And I will tell you how do you see that. You type cd space /var /log /pac tab completion. Yes, enter, and now you type ls. Yeah, okay, you do it like this. Okay, and there you can see all the packages you have, and it's the uniqueness. Only Slackware has its packages under /var /log, which is very weird to put there. Normally it's /var /log /messages or /var /log /xoth xorg.0.log and things like that. But Patrick has put all the packages there.
So if you were, let's just say you were downloading something from here, your process would be to download it, convert it, install it, and then try to run it, or would you do the LDD first?
The process is that one. You go to the pkgs.org. You took this site, this page for a package. You check the requires. You see the requires. Go to the requires section. You have to check that all these dependencies exist on Slackware. Where are these dependencies? These are shared objects. They are under /usr/lib64. You do an ls pipe grep of these words, or you can do ls and then pipe it to less.
Through less?
No, to less. LE. Okay. Yes. And you can see, and there you will see all the libraries which are under /usr/lib64, and then you can see if you have them. But you can type grep and a specific library to see if it is instead of.
Okay, and so there's my free type. Okay.
Yes. And you have to do that for each library. If all the libraries are already there, then the procedure is to download the .rpm, the binary package of the .rpm. Then you use the tool RPM to TGZ to convert it into a Slackware package, and then you install the converted package, because that converted package has the right format for Slackware.
Okay.
And once it is installed, you can use it.
Got it.
And for a Debian package, you download the binary point deb. You use AR in one word space X space the name of that binary point deb. It will extract 3 or 4 files. You will untar the data.tar. I don't remember, GZ or XZ, something like that. It will then untar. You will have several folders, and you copy or move all the folders, subfolders, and files which are there to the right place, to the real /usr or /bin or /lib and so on. You have to put them in the right place with the right permissions and the right ownership, and then you have a Debian package installed on Slackware.
Okay. So this conversion of RPM to TGZ,
yes,
it reminds me a little bit of like Alien, where you can take a package and
yes. Alien is used either on RPM to convert a Debian into an RPM, or on Debian to convert an RPM into a Debian package, because Alien is used when you have no Debian package, but there exists, for instance, an RPM package, and you would like to have it. So you try, but Alien, not very good. But someone on Slackware has created a tool called SRC to PKG, which does 5 things. It converts a deb, it converts an RPM, it converts from source, it converts slitas, and a 5th one, I don't remember, into a package with a Slackware format. This guy is a genius. He has done a lot of work, and his tool has plenty of options. So it's a very powerful tool to convert almost any package into a package with a Slackware format.
That's impressive. Yeah.
Yes, it's impressive.
So is the package format itself just essentially, so it's the files, but then it's the structure of where to place the files?
You see,
setting the permissions.
Yes. The big problem in Linux is not the universal packages like app images or snaps or flatpaks. The problem on Linux is that each distribution is putting the libraries and the core packages into different locations. That is the problem, and they give it other names. So, and especially the RPM family, they put it, I don't know, in places with other names and in other locations and things like that. So you can't use their structure to adapt it to Slackware or to Gentoo. That's the main. If each distribution would have the same name with the same location, only the end, the metadata would be specific to the distribution to tell you, yes, it is a Debian package, yes, it is an RPM package, yes, it is a Slackware package, but the rest would be exactly, and the structure would be the same. Then you have your universal format, because you can extract anything except the metadata, and you can put it in the right place on any distribution.
Yeah,
that should have been the direction to go. Unfortunately, it hasn't been the case.
I have to think that maybe they would feel that it's an impossible task to try to get everybody to do the right thing.
Yes, in fact, with the LSB, that Red Hat was trying to impose its package format, so the RPM, that is in the LSB. If you read the LSB, they recommend that format, and Slackware could use it directly with the RPM to TGZ. He knew how to convert an RPM package to a package with a Slackware format.
All right.
Okay.
Well, I really appreciate you taking the time to do this. I know it's getting late for you. I don't know if there's any final questions or comments from folks.
Yes, I will see now, because I helped you with the installation. Now I can see some, well, if no one has a specific question. So I know that Valentino in the chat was or is using Slackware, so that's for sure. Alan Gomez is trying Calculate, so if he likes it, maybe in the future he will go to a pure Gentoo. He needs for that to have another hardware, because with his actual hardware, that would take too long. And no, I think Zebedee says there are no real questions, and that Mitchell is right. Slackware rocks. And this is contrary to what another YouTuber said in one of his videos, Slackware is crap. No, it's not crap. You can use it even in 2019.
It really wasn't that difficult to install. I mean, truly, I could see how package management would be challenging if you were just randomly, going out and trying to. But the idea that there are already resources around precompiled packages, and then, the way that you've shown me how to do this now, I would feel comfortable being able to get, the packages I would be wanting to use. And
now, of course, it's too late. I can't show you, but there are plenty of other tools. You can use slap-get, which is Slackware apt-get. And you have Synaptic, which is called gslapt. It's a graphical Slackware apt. So a GUI front-end for is slap-get. Is another tool. Another tool is SBO tools, which solves the dependencies for you with a simple command, like I did with SQG. You've got SBO UI, which does also with an ncurses window to help you solve the dependencies. Then you have this famous package source to PKG to convert almost any package into a package with a Slackware format. You've got plenty of tools. You've got Hurex, who solves the reverse dependencies. Sometimes you have to know the reverse dependencies. Well, he has created a script for you. I think you've got plenty of tools on Slackware to be able to handle and to maintain a Slackware system. It's less difficult than Gentoo.
I will offer to you then, if I know we had some hiccups to start here, if at some point you wanted to highlight any of those other tools, I mean, I'd be happy to
yes, we can do a part 2, and then I will show all the other tools. Most of the other tools, because that would take some time. But the most important other tools to ease your life on Slackware. Yes, we can do that.
Okay.
I will show you the source to PKG, because that is a gem, absolutely. I will show you the SBO tools, and maybe, if we have time, Slapget or something like that, how to handle, and also maybe how to handle. So I show you how to troubleshoot when you had an error, how to fix it with a symbolic link, or how to find with LDD if something is missing. And maybe if we have, for instance, if something happens like you have an undefined symbol, then I can show you the way to solve that kind of issue. Tonight we didn't have it, but maybe in part 2 we will have it, and then I can show you how to solve that kind of issue.
Okay, that would be great. Yeah, just let me know. To me, it's very interesting to see this. I like to see, this to me is almost like the foundation of so much of what we do today.
First one.
Yeah. So I think it's appropriate to give it some time. And
yes.
So yeah, I really appreciate you doing this, and I would like to set that up again. I hope everybody enjoyed watching this once we got it started, and I think that's it for us for today.
Yes, that's it for us.
Okay, so thanks again, Serge.
Yes.
And we'll see you again for part 2 at some point.
Yes,
right,
we will see you for part 2. So I say bye-bye to all the participants in the chat, and we'll wait until a second episode of Slackware. So
sounds good.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
Yes. Cheers.